Good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me here live on Sunday morning at 11:11 or at your convenience. Also, just a reminder that all of my videos are archived on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/inspire, YOUTV. So you can go and see anything you might have missed, or you might want to share with somebody who's not on Facebook. Well, I want to also let you know, next Sunday, I will not be having my conversation. I'll be in New Hampshire for a wedding. Looking forward to that, and love New Hampshire. It's a beautiful state and a little cooler weather. We've been baking here in Flat Rock, and normally it's cool here. But anyway, just sending cool blessings around the world and blessings of peace and safety for our brothers and sisters in Hawaii and all of our brothers and sisters impacted by these recent earthquakes. Mother Earth is rocking and rolling, and we just need to send all our love and peace to everybody. So good morning, Molly. Good to see you here today. So gonna go just one reminder also, the prayer ministry. If you'd like to submit a prayer request, just go to my website, charlottemcginnis.com, and you can scroll down and submit your request, and we'll get the team praying for you. Okie doke. So, gonna talk about mind your mind today. Mind your business too, but we're gonna talk about minding your mind. And I was reading a little bit about actually Dr. Hyman, who I really appreciate his philosophy on healing and living and lifestyle. And he is a wonderful teacher, physician, and really has some great ideas on holistic living and a lifestyle that encourages well-being. In other words, we've got to find the cause, the root cause. Functional medicine goes for the root cause, where a lot of allopathic medicine tends to just want to, cover it up with a drug or this or that. Yes, there's a place for allopathic, and I'm grateful for that. But I think the more we can focus on getting to the root cause of everything, which is actually much of what we're going to be talking about today, the root cause of everything. And a quote or a post that he had recently, I thought was interesting. I had never heard of this RAS, so I looked it up, and his quote was, what you constantly focus on becomes what your brain prioritizes. Train your attention towards health, purpose, connection, and possibility, and your brain will start looking for them. So he talked about there's a system in your brain called RAS. It filters millions of signals every day. So that is the reticular activating system. So I did do some research on it. You might want to look into it if it's something that interests you, but it really is, the point is that we do have power over our mind. We need to mind our mind. And what we see in the world is a reflection of what is in our mind. We see the world as it is, as we are, not, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So change the channel in your mind. Course in Miracles, what is it described as being? A course in mind training. So we're going to talk about that today. We have free will, and in every moment, literally, we have the choice and the free will to align our minds, our hearts, choose thoughts that heal. We can choose to be in love or fear every moment. And if you're in fear for a moment or two, change the page. Choose again. Shift your perception. That is the miracle. So mind training matters. It's not just a luxury or a supplementary vitamin for the soul. It literally determines the quality of every instant of our lives. And I think that sometimes, we hear all these wonderful ideas, teachings, philosophies, and it's like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, and I can even buy that. Yeah, that really feels good, and maybe I'll do something about that. But until we really put it into action and practice, we're not reaping the full benefits of what really everything we learn and is available to us has to offer, and how it can not only impact our personal lives, but the lives of everyone. It impacts the world in a huge way. So mind your mind. So mind training is based on the idea that two opposite mental factors can't happen at the same time. You could go from love to hate, but you can't at the same time carry love and hate in your thoughts. Fear and love cannot exist in any moment, in the same moment. So every moment we're choosing to be in the mindset of love or fear, oneness or division. Right now in our world, on our beautiful planet Earth, there are lots of things that we could be upset about, angry about, fearful about, be it the economy, be it politics, be it war, be it weather, you name it, just making it day to day, the stress of just living, right? So we do have more power than I think we realize, or maybe we even realize it like I just said, but where do we go? What you gonna do about it? So mind training literally matters more than we could ever imagine. The Beatles, they were great philosophers. They were deeply spiritual souls. George Harrison says a few simple words: it's all in the mind. And take that into your heart and into your consciousness. It literally is all in the mind. We think it's out there, but it's not. It's literally all in the mind. Change your mind, change your experience. And not only do we change our experience, but we change that of the entire universe, literally. That's when we can move mountains, when we're willing to decide to be, do you prefer to be right or happy? Well, choose to be happy. Choose to align with love. Choose to let go of your grievances and your judgments and your anger and your fears, and transform those into love. So we're talking about this today and how we can do it. Well, mindfulness, we hear a lot about mindfulness. Well, it's about allowing ourselves to watch our thoughts and see how one thought leads to the next, and decide if we're heading down an unhealthy path, and if so, let go and change directions. Very relevant to what Dr. Hyman said, is what we constantly focus on is what becomes our priorities. So we need to train our minds to focus on health, purpose, connection, and possibilities. And the cool thing is, when you do this and we intentionally focus on those things, loving things and perfect health, not only does it change our experience, it does. It's like a gravitational pull towards that which we're focusing on. Same is if you're focusing on the 8 awfuls and the fear, guess what? You're creating that gravitational pull that's going to pull you into that cyclone of fear. And actually, it's a prayer for more of what you don't want. And, I think that until we really, I think we understand it. I think we even accept it at some level. But until we integrate it, we're not going to reap the many rewards of what I'm sharing here today. So as Buddha says, mind is everything what we think we become. Because thoughts literally have a vibration attached to them. So I've said this over the past several years, because I'm also, speaking to myself, we teach what we need to learn, right? Grateful to say, because I think it's good that we give ourselves a pat on the back. I'm doing a lot better, and I know you all are too. You recognize that it doesn't really serve myself or anybody for me to be angry, for me to take sides, for me to be in judgment of anything, really. It's just about really nurturing our mind and our thoughts. Thoughts are things. Thoughts have energy. So how do you unlearn your healthy programming? Well, so many of our programs are, they're just that. They're programs that were instilled in us from the minute we came into this earth, right? And our parents brought us in. We were born into family, and we're born into a region in the world, and we have our maybe church, maybe not church. So the religious thing is a whole other thing, and then the educational system, and all the factors that come with just living day to day. And interestingly enough, it's been said, and I do believe that there's a lot of truth to this, by the time we're 6 years old, we've pretty much cemented some pretty deep programs into our unconscious, our subconscious. And interestingly enough, beyond that, is until we recognize that and realize that we can change it, those programs that we were set up with for the first 6 years of our life are what drives us through our day-to-day experience. So they're powerful. But the good news is there is another way, and that's the miracle. So how do you unlearn those unhealthy programs? Well, how do you change that subconscious tape that's playing and directing the show? Well, we have to take the bull by the horns, as they say, and realize that every moment I have the free will to accept or reject everything that comes into my field. In other words, I have choice and free will to choose the supplements I take, the people I choose to associate with, the food that I take into my body, what I want to watch on television or not, what music I listen to. Incidentally, been really interested in loving on YouTube lately the Mozart effect, because the music of Mozart and many of the composers is so uplifting, and it literally can reprogram our cells. It's if you tune that in, just put on the Mozart effect on YouTube, just listen to it in the background. It's very beautiful and wonderful and healing. So every moment, we got to pay attention to what we're allowing into our field of thought, of activity. And is this, I think, a question that we can always ask, is this action, thought, is this person, is this situation leading me to more light, more love, more forgiveness, a healthier experience in my life and in my body? Or is it one that is negating all of the above? So we do have free will to accept or reject everything we let into our field, and particularly into our mind. So training our minds is essential for focus, resilience, and achieving success. And many thinkers emphasize its limitless potential. So there is no limit in our mind. If we can think it, we can achieve it literally. So Dalai Lama, he says happiness can be achieved through training the mind. Again, you think of the Dalai Lama, you think of the Buddha, generally happy, right? It's choosing to be happy. Choosing, we can accept or reject. Is this a happy movie or a happy thought? Or is this something that's going to bring me down? Now, one thing I do want to say is that ultimately, the more we train ourselves to think with love, to align with the thoughts of God, which are unlimited, which are eternal, which are peaceful, we tend to see the world and our lives and the lives of others differently. It's like we see beyond the veil of division and separation and war and conflict and fear. So ultimately, the goal, I believe, is to really tap into that unlimited potential of the mind. And when we're in our highest state of awareness, we see God in everything. But if I'm still seeing fear, it's just feedback. It's nothing to be afraid of or be upset about. It's just recognizing, okay, I'm still PO'd at that person. I don't like what they're doing, whatever it is. Or, oh, I feel so hopeless and helpless in this situation. It could be a physical condition. It could be a financial relationship. You name it. We all have them all, right? So we don't have to feel hopeless. We can turn that frown upside down by changing our mind. So what we really are here to do is to develop inner values. And when we do this, it's like going to the gym, right? The more we train our abilities, the stronger they become. And I like this. It's this statement says, unlike the body, the mind has no limit to how far it can go. Well, how far can the body go? I think that there may be limits on the body. We perceive limits, but we see that bar is raised in, sports, the body's ability to overcome so many things. Don't mean to digress, but we watched a wonderful movie, if you haven't seen it, by the way, Young Washington. That's the story of George Washington as a young boy in his life, really before he became the George Washington we knew, as president, first president. And wow, what a guy. And there's a scene in the movie where he is literally in the bitter cold. So cold, it's like, how did he survive this? And then when going to war and battle, the power of the mind to be able to overcome those obstacles, it's possible. I said to Ellen, how could he have survived physically in those conditions, freezing cold, right? Well, I think that he had a mindset that was so beyond limitation and fear. It was a mindset of possibility and necessity of what was in front of him at the moment. So, there is no limit to really our potential. So, something else to ponder. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. Be water, my friend. Just be formless and shapeless. Let go, empty your mind. The more we can empty our minds, we can open it's as I said, we can accept or reject what we allow in. And if we flood our consciousness with thoughts that heal, and actions that support a higher state of being, well, we just flush out all the old stuff, literally flush it out of the body and flush it out of our consciousness, and that is how we transform ourselves and the world. So we just, it's a spiritual discipline. we need to really program ourselves to align with the thoughts of God, tune into that voice, still small voice that dwells within each and every one of us. That is the voice of the Holy Spirit, which is always unifying, which is always of love, which is always peace. I believe that the Course's definition of how do we know if, good morning, Becky, that really the best barometer of where we are in our journey is, where are we at peace? Am I at peace or am I in conflict? Peace is an attribute of alignment with God, with the Holy Spirit, with peace, with love. If I'm not at peace, I am in alignment with the illusion, with fear, with judgment, with separation, with duality, and the list goes on and on and on. So we just need to train our minds and this is another beautiful thing, it's train our minds to desire what each situation demands. And I think that when you see someone who is in their higher state of awareness and consciousness, then what happens is you become more intuitive, you become more, your response to life is is a natural extension of tuning in to real truth and higher knowledge and wisdom. And so you see people, they just flow through and they seem to be just, whatever comes in front of them, they just deal with it, and there's no stress and no freaking out and upset. Or you could see, put two people, okay, here's a great example. You got person A here who's done their work, choosing to train their mind to align with love and unity and peace and higher consciousness, and allow the Holy Spirit to guide you, lead you, and direct you in every moment. And then you see the person B who's triggered by every situation, oh my God, it's awful. They're afraid of everything. And so what's different? And so person A and person B could be encountering the exact same situation. The person who's aligned with the thoughts and the guidance of the Holy Spirit just flow through life with ease and grace. And yet those who are in the illusion and into the story and into the fear and into the program, they're just reacting in fear and anxiety and stress. And I think you understand the point. Which do you choose? So it's not the situation, in other words, that's causing the peace or lack thereof, but it's the decision of how I choose to respond. It's which teacher am I holding hands with through my life, the Holy Spirit or the ego? Well, the ego's, if you haven't heard it enough already from me, the ego wants to keep us in fear, keep us in judgment, keep us in separation and duality, and the Holy Spirit is always wanting to lead us to peace and unity and oneness. So a well-trained mind is a powerful tool, and a tool for living. So we need to train ourselves every moment. We have, it's been said, numbers varies, but it's a lot of thoughts. Say 100,000 thoughts a day. So we have to be vigilant with every thought we think, and recognize that's a thought of fear. Choose again. Again, it's feedback. It's not anything to feel shame or guilt or self-blame over. It's just like, okay, that's, I'm getting triggered here, I'm upset, I'm angry, whatever it is, choose again. And that is when we really get the healing, when we change our mindset. How do you know if you've done it? Those repetitive cycles and patterns stop popping up. So in other words, it's like when you get the lesson, the universe doesn't have to send it to us again. And sometimes, it goes back to married the same person 8 times and they're all abusive. Every job, I have the same situation. There's always someone in the office who's horrible. Or, you see people in their patterns, right? See ourselves in our patterns. I'm not leaving myself out of the mix. Good news is to know that we have a choice. We can say, oh, there's a pattern, there's a lesson. Why is this happening again? Well, it's happening again because you haven't learned what you need to learn yet. Okay. So training our mind requires discipline, consistency, and patience. So the more, to me, I've gotten to the point where there's really nothing else, there's nothing in this world that I'm seeking necessarily, but yet I know my best days are yet to come. And all I know is that God's plan for me is way better than anything I could think about. And it's about really what's my goal in life is to do exactly this, train my mind to think thoughts that heal and that unify and that bring peace. And that's pretty much it. And then the byproduct of that is life becomes more full and rich, and you attract exactly that which is for your highest and best good, which I think our thinking mind and our program mind could never have imagined. In our, we can't imagine really what is out there for us if we just let go, let Spirit, let God, just see where it takes us. And it's way better than we could ever imagine. So, we just need to understand that and appreciate mental training is about shaping our attitudes, habits, and emotional response to leading a more fulfilled life. And I want to talk about emotional response in the sense that there's, I've talked about this over the years many times, and we always sort of said, oh, high IQ, right? That's like something to strive for. Oh, they have a high IQ. Oh, they're really smart. Well, that's wonderful. The IQ, intelligence quotient, that's wonderful. But the people who really have the real power are those with emotional intelligence, EI, emotional intelligence. And that really is that they respond and show up in peace. They don't react. They don't have emotional responses. They don't get triggered by everything. It's just I think when we're emotionally mature, have a high emotional intelligence, you just are sort of watching the movie, flowing through life. Everything is okay, even though it might, in the ego's judgment, not be okay. But that is what we're seeking. And those who are really mastering, I think, the game of life are those who don't have the extreme emotional response to life, but rather just peace. Peace is the goal. So we need to train our minds to focus on solutions, not problems, and watch how our confidence, clarity, and momentum slowly replace fear and doubt. So today, mind your mind. It's the most powerful tool we have. We don't have to go out and fix this or change this or do this, because the more we mind our minds, we naturally know what to do, where to go, what to say, and what to do in every moment. Life becomes more, I love the two words, effortless accomplishment. So, if life's a struggle, if you feel like you're pulling those boulders up the mountain and your life is so awful and it's so hard and it's a struggle, probably a good chance that you need to mind your mind a little more. And the last statement that I'll make before I close here is, if we don't rule our minds, it will rule us. So, do we want to be in control, rule our mind, join forces with the Holy Spirit, or do we want to let our unconscious, subconscious programs rule us? It's free will, it's a choice, it's a decision, it's a practice. It's up to us what we choose. If you choose to stay in the fear and be ruled by your subconscious, it's your choice. But I think we're here for a higher purpose and higher calling. So take control, mind your mind, pay attention to your thoughts, recognize the feedback that your life is giving you, and see where it takes you. And I guarantee if you do it, you'll be a lot more peaceful and a lot more happy. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone being here. And as always, if you feel moved to pass this along and share it, that'd be awesome. And I'd appreciate it. And reminder, no conversation next week on Sunday, but see you in 2 weeks. Have a great week, everybody. Mind your mind, and namaste.